She boarded this luxury cruise for a dream vacation, but before the ship reached its next port, she was gone. No body, no witnesses, no explanation. Vanished at sea, all slept. What happened? Welcome to Vanished at Sea, where we uncover passengers who disappear overnight on cruise ships and the mysteries they leave behind. Now let's go back to the moment this cruise ship disappearance began. Her name was Samantha Caldwell. She was 28 years old, a quiet but adventurous woman from Portland, Oregon, with a love for photography, ocean sunsets, and travel journals filled with little handwritten notes. Friends described Samantha as the kind of person who didn't just take pictures, she captured feelings. She was the friend who remembered birthdays, who sent voice notes at midnight just to check on you, who always made space for other people's emotions, even when she was struggling with her own. Samantha had been working non-stop for almost 2 years. She was employed as a marketing assistant at a small company, and while she loved the creative side of her job, the long hours were wearing her down. So when her best friend Kara suggested a cruise vacation, Samantha didn't hesitate. It was supposed to be simple. A 1-week cruise through warm waters, a break from emails, a break from stress, a break from life. Samantha posted a photo the day she boarded. She's smiling with her sunglasses on, holding a fruity drink, the ocean behind her like a painting. Her caption was short, "Finally breathing again." The cruise ship itself was massive, one of those floating cities with restaurants, pools, theaters, and endless hallways that all looked the same after midnight. On the first night, Samantha looked happy. She took pictures of the dining room chandelier. She recorded a video of the live band playing by the pool. She even sent her mom a message saying, "Don't worry, I'm safe. This ship is like a whole country." For the first 2 days, everything seemed normal, but within hours, something would go terribly wrong. The last time anyone could confirm Samantha was alive was late at night on day 3. According to her cruise ship manifest and keycard records, she returned to the main deck around 11:47 p.m. The manifest, in cruise investigations, isn't just a passenger list. It's a living log of movement, a record of who boarded, who left, and in many cases, who scanned into certain zones of the ship. On most modern ships, every passenger's keycard acts like an ID, a wallet, and a door key. It logs entry to cabins, purchases at bars, access to restricted areas, and sometimes even time-stamped entry into entertainment venues. That night, Samantha's keycard showed something strange. At 11:52 p.m., she made a small purchase at the Deck 9 bars, just one drink. The bartender later said she seemed calm, not drunk, not upset, not in distress. She was alone. But then came the last verified sighting. At 12:18 a.m., a security camera captured Samantha walking along the outer corridor, near the upper decks, the same area where passengers often go to feel the sea breeze or take quiet photos at. The footage was grainy, the lighting was dim, but you could see her clearly enough. She was wearing a light cardigan, shorts, and sandals. She held her phone in one hand. She stopped near the railing for a moment. Then she walked out of frame, and after that moment, they were never seen again. No one heard a scream. No one reported an argument. No one called security. By morning, Samantha was simply missing at sea. When Samantha didn't show up for breakfast, no one panicked at first. Cruises are full of people who sleep late, skip meals, or disappear into spas and lounges for hours. But by midday, Kara, her best friend, started calling her phone. No answer. Kara went to Samantha's cabin. It was locked from the outside. She knocked. Nothing. Then she went to guest services. At first, they treated it like a routine situation. They told Kara, "Sometimes passengers lose track of time. She'll turn up." But by evening, Samantha still hadn't been seen. That's when ship security finally stepped in. They checked her cabin. Inside, her belongings were still there. Her suitcase was untouched. Her makeup bag was open. Her camera was on the desk. Her sandals, not the ones she wore last night, were neatly placed by the bed. And then they found something that instantly turned this into a tourist missing during cruise investigation. Her phone charger was plugged in, but her phone was gone. So was her keycard. That detail matters. Because when someone disappears overnight on cruise ship, investigators immediately ask, did they plan to leave? Or did something happen so suddenly they had no chance? Ship security initiated a passenger search. Crew members began checking stairwells, bathrooms, storage areas, and lounges. Announcements were made quietly to staff, not over the public intercom, to avoid panic. At first, the ship did not stop. It continued moving toward the next port, and that decision would later become one of the biggest controversies in this cruise ship mystery case. Then, the Coast Guard was contacted, but hours had already passed. The ocean doesn't wait. And in cases where a passenger vanished without a trace, time is everything. But one discovery raised even more questions. The first strange clue came from the ship's surveillance team. Security cameras on cruise ships cover many areas: entrances, elevators, casinos, bars, hallways. But they don't cover everything. There are blind spots. And Samantha's last known moment happened dangerously close to one of those blind spots. When investigators reviewed the footage, they noticed something unsettling. Samantha appeared to pause near the railing, and then the camera angle shifted slightly as she walked forward. But there was no footage showing her returning. No footage of her going back inside. No footage of her entering her cabin again. It was like she walked into the darkness and dissolved. Then came the contradictions. One passenger claimed they saw a woman matching Samantha's description near the deck around 1 a.m., looking confused. Another passenger claimed they heard footsteps and laughter near the same area, but no one could agree on details. And no one reported anything in real time. Even more concerning, the ship did not issue a public missing person announcement until the next morning. That delay is common in real cruise ship disappearance cases, and it's one of the reasons families often believe cruise lines prioritize reputation over urgency. Then there was the issue of the ship's actions. The ship had already traveled many nautical miles by the time the Coast Guard was fully engaged. In the open sea, that distance becomes an enormous search zone. And Samantha, officially, became a missing cruise ship passenger. But investigators weren't satisfied, because the evidence didn't fit neatly into one box. And this led investigators to consider three disturbing possibilities. The first theory is always the simplest. Maybe Samantha fell overboard. Maybe she leaned too far over the railing. Maybe she slipped in her sandals. Maybe she was dizzy. Maybe she felt sick. And yes, people do fall. But here's the problem. Cruise ship railings are designed to be high enough to prevent accidental falls. You usually have to climb or intentionally lean dangerously. So investigators asked, was Samantha intoxicated? The bartender said no. Her drink purchase was small, and she didn't appear unsteady on camera. Another question, was she alone? The footage shows her alone, but the camera angle and lighting can't confirm whether someone was just outside the frame. If it was an accident, then this becomes a tragic case of someone who disappeared at sea due to a moment of misstep. But the next theory is darker. What if Samantha didn't fall? What if she was pushed? What if she encountered someone, a stranger, a crew member, even another passenger who meant harm? Cruise ships are strange environments. They're isolated, they're crowded, they're filled with alcohol, and they're full of people who will never see each other again after the trip. Investigators reviewed the manifest and keycard logs to see who else was on Deck 9 around that time. This is where cruise ship manifests become crucial. They can reveal who scanned into certain areas, who used elevators, who made purchases nearby. They also reviewed CCTV footage from elevators and corridors leading to the deck. And while Samantha was captured walking out, no clear footage showed her interacting with anyone. But that doesn't mean she didn't. Crew interviews also matter here, because crew members work all night. They see what passengers don't. They clean, they restock, they patrol. Investigators interviewed multiple crew members. Some reported nothing, but one crew member, a cleaner, said they saw a woman alone near the outer corridor around midnight. They couldn't confirm it was Samantha, but they remembered because she looked like she was waiting. Waiting for someone. If Samantha was meeting someone, that changes everything. A planned meeting could turn into an argument. A disagreement could turn violent. And on a ship, violence can disappear into the sea. That would make this not just an unsolved mystery at sea, but a potential crime scene. And then there's the theory that haunts every vanished at sea story. The one investigators don't like to say out loud. What if Samantha didn't go overboard? What if she didn't die at all? What if she was taken? It sounds impossible, but in rare cases, people have been found hiding, trapped, or even intentionally concealed. Could Samantha have entered a restricted crew-only area? Could she have been moved somewhere the cameras didn't cover? Could she have been injured and unable to call for help? Investigators searched the ship, but ships are massive, and even with a full sweep, there are places that are hard to access quickly: maintenance corridors, storage rooms, machinery zones. And if something happened there, evidence could vanish. The most unsettling part? Her phone was missing. If she fell accidentally, the phone might have been found. If she was pushed, the phone could have been taken. If she was lured somewhere, the phone could have been silenced. But years later, a chilling detail would change everything. Samantha Caldwell was never found. No body, no belongings recovered, no confirmed final moments beyond that grainy clip of her last scene on crew's deck. Her family has spent years searching for answers. Her mother still posts on anniversaries photos of Samantha smiling in sunlight, photos of her holding a camera, photos of her standing by the ocean, the same ocean that now holds her secrets. The family has criticized the cruise line's response. They believe the reporting was delayed. They believe the ship should have stopped sooner. They believe the surveillance system should have been better. And they believe in their hearts that Samantha didn't simply fall. To this day, her case remains open. It remains a real cruise ship disappearance case that investigators still reference when discussing what happens when someone disappears at sea. Because it exposes the terrifying truth. A cruise ship can be full of thousands of people and still be the loneliest place in the world. Samantha's story has become part of a growing list of cruise ship mystery cases. Cases where a woman disappeared on cruise vacation, true story, and the ocean swallowed the rest. To this day, the ocean has never returned answers. What truly happened that night may never be known. Was this an accident? A tragic fall? Was it false or the Farron?